Hello friends! The Teana was completed exclusively with gasoline aspirated, 2 4-cylinders and 2 6-cylinders. All the engines are quite reliable. They are equipped with a chain-type timing drive that can last more than 300,000 kilometers. The motors themselves, before the first overhaul, as a rule run more than 500,000 kilometers. But first you will have to change the ignition coils and the valve cover gasket. The first time after about 150,000 kilometers. With a run of more than 200 to 250,000 kilometers, oil consumption may increase significantly. Most often it's all about the PCV valve, crankcase ventilation valve. In this case, oil can be found in the intake manifold. Less often the occurrence of rings is possible, which occurs when using low-quality oil and tightening with its replacement. If knocking and vibrations appear after 100 to 150,000 kilometers, one of the engine mounts will have to be replaced. Unpleasant rattling and vibrations can also be caused by worn damper valves. A 4-speed hydromechanical automatic was installed with all engines, with the exception of the top one. For the 3.5-liter unit, a continuously variable variator and 6-speed mechanics were in store. The last combination is very exotic. All automatic transmissions are developed by the Japanese company Jatco. They need regular oil changes once every 60,000 kilometers. Otherwise, the oil ages, the pressure in the circuit drops, and the wear of the box elements increases. The first troubles with automatic transmission may arise after 200 to 250,000 kilometers. In addition to the classic symptoms, jolts and slippage, another one also appears. The reverse gear disappears. It is worth noting that small kicks when switching from first to second are a proprietary feature of the Teana machine. The variator for most owners turned out to be less tenacious. First of all, because of the sporty driving style and the neglect of timely updating of the transmission fluid. Problems often appeared after 100 to 150,000 kilometers. There were shocks, howling, whistling, thrust disappeared. For more caring and calm drivers, the variator is able to cover 250 to 350,000 kilometers. The Teana's suspension copes well with small bumps, but it works out real potholes too loudly. The sedan is quite docile in turns and body roll is small. Some owners from the first kilometers complained about a knock on the chassis. Many mechanics believe that it's all about shock absorbers. Fortunately, silent blocks and ball joints do not require attention up to 150 to 200,000 kilometers. The steering rack can knock after 100,000 kilometers and a little later it can leak. At the same time, the power steering pump may need to be replaced. Over time, owners notice ABS malfunctions, accompanied by an error. Often it is possible to solve the problem by cleaning the magnetic tape. Less often you have to change the sensor. The main thing to remember is that you can't ride with an error for a long time. This will inevitably lead to failure of the ABS unit. However, the native unit will be able to restore in a specialized service. The body is not prone to corrosion, but age takes its toll. When examining the oldest cars, you can notice the bubble coating on the trunk lid, wheel arches, and chrome elements. After 150 to 200,000 kilometers, sometimes the arrow of the fuel indicator begins to fake. Sometimes the sensor itself is to blame, but more often it's all about the control unit for measuring instruments and climate control. It is this which is responsible for processing the signal from the sensor. The disease is eliminated by soldering the contacts. The air conditioning compressor may fail after 150 to 200,000 kilometers. Quite often there are problems with door locks, especially with the drivers. The lock stops opening from the outside. The reason is the wear of the activator, motor, or gears. The operability of the lock can be restored by replacing faulty elements. Over time, the back of the driver's seat begins to play. Fortunately, the disease is treated quite simply. If you know of other model malfunctions, be sure to write about it.